Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a mental break. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to any new subscribers that have came along. I really appreciate you guys. I've been reading the comments, answering the comments. I appreciate all you guys' comments, whether it's good or bad. I appreciate the feedback and I'm glad to read some of them. Um, all right. You see the thumbnail. We're going to talk about Cardi B and Cash Doll because this is like getting out of hand at this point. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Deanna. I'm a psych nurse. I've been a psych nurse for over 20 years. I've worked with children all the way up to the elderly. I've been on high profile cases in my city. Cases has been on the news, treatment teams. I've worked with a couple high profile people, so I'm telling you all this to let you guys know that I do have experience in this. I am a licensed professional. So I'm not just coming on here just saying things that I think I know. Some things are my opinions, and some things are actually scientifically proven in the psychiatric world. Now, you see the thumbnail. Let's talk about what's going on with these two women. Now, word on the street is there's a rumor that Cardi B and Stefan Diggs broke up. There's also a rumor that Cardi B is pregnant. Now, this is all alleged because Cardi B has not came out and publicly confirmed her pregnancy that I'm aware of. I haven't seen that Cardi B has announced herself that she's pregnant. So until she actually says that, we're just going to say that it is alleged. And we don't know for a fact that her and Stefan Diggs have actually broken up because Cardi B has not come online and, did a crash out like she does when she gets upset. So it's speculated this because she has unfollowed Stefan Diggs and has taken all his pictures down. So word on the YouTube streets is that they broke up. So having said that, it's not a surprise to me that they would break up because Stefan Diggs and Offset are the same person in reality. And I'll get to Cash Doll in a minute. Where Carly has messed up at, now on this channel we take viral stories and we break it down and see who's accountable and who actually has a mental health illness. Now, Cardi B does not appear to me to have a mental health illness per se, as far as something that is like something severely diagnosed. Cardi B needs to sit down. She does need to be on a therapist's couch because of the fact that Cardi B has experienced a lot of things in her life that she needs to address. Because if Cardi B would have addressed some of her issues, then she wouldn't be making these mistakes over and over again. Cardi B wouldn't have chosen Offset. She wouldn't have married him, and she wouldn't be with Stefan Diggs. Now, if this is true, and I don't know if it's true or not about her and Stefan Diggs, um, it ladies, what happens is, and so many women do this, and men do it too. When you come out of a relationship, whether it is a marriage, a long-term relationship, or you're just having a baby, it is not the best idea to go right into another relationship. You at least need a minimum, bare minimum of 6 months without dating. That's bare minimum. Really, it should be a year or over, but bare minimum is 6 months if you're going to therapy. That's the barest minimum I can give you. And the reason for that is because when you come out of a relationship, especially for women, women need to sit and evaluate, what they did in the relationship, what he did in the relationship, how did the relationship start, how did it end, what happened in between, and how you can prevent it from happening again. Because if you don't take that time to sit out and look at what just happened and what you went through, you are destined to repeat it again. Case in point, Cardi B. You went from one man who cheats and, runs around with different women to the next man who's doing the same thing. He's also allegedly impregnating women. And there's also an alleged rumor of him being on the other side of the street. So, again, I don't know if that's true or not. That's alleged as well. But I also know in the entertainment world that people like to have these PR relationships, to help boost, an artist's career and things like that. But Cardi doesn't have to agree to it though. You don't know, nobody forces you to do these things. A lot of times, these things are done, to boost someone's career. But what's happening with Cardi is that this is not boosting her career, it's making it look worse. And that's the problem. Now, I'm going to explain this also. Cardi B is a former stripper. Now, I've interviewed many women in the sex industry, including ex strippers. And many of these women have some sort of trauma in their history, whether it's physical, emotional, abandonment issues, or, whatever, because the average woman is not capable of getting up on a stage and taking all their clothes off with a sober mind. It's just not. No little girl, no woman, when they're little, as a little girl, say they want to grow up and be a stripper. That's just not how it works. Regardless on what men say, as women, we know that. Okay, because men like to say that, oh, she was this way when she was 13, or she was this way when she was 12. Well, something happened at 13 and 12. And us women, we know that. And a lot of women, they like to pretend like they don't know that, because they want to either make themselves look better, or they don't want to face their own demons. So, but I know, I've interviewed many women in the sex industry, many, and 90, I'm going to say 98% of them have trauma. Okay. So, usually what comes with this trauma is a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and wanting to prove that they're quote unquote a good girl. Cardi, when she married Offset, she wanted to have this family image because she wanted to make it look like, I'm this good girl now. And I'm not saying that Cardi is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that women who are in the sex industry, they would like to have a more wholesome public image because of how they feel about themselves inside. And I'm not saying that she wasn't a wholesome person. What I'm saying is that the stigma that comes with women in the sex industry, it doesn't look good on the surface. And because of that, women who have been in the sex industry, they want to try to redeem themselves and have, you know what the illusion of having that, good girl role, being a wife and mother. So Cardi B is really needs to get therapy. She really, really does, because not only is it about her choices in men, it's also all the plastic surgeries. She is desperately trying to prove something that she's just not going to be able to prove, and it's unfortunate. And when I say not be able to prove, Cardi is trying to be something in her mind that's not achievable, because there's no such thing as the perfect woman. There's no such thing as the perfect mom and the perfect wife and the perfect girlfriend. There's no such thing. So Cardi really, really needs to go to therapy at this point. She really needs to stop worrying about who she's dating and just sit back for a minute and focus on herself and her children. That's what she needs, and her career. That's what she needs to focus on right now, because all of these things are affecting everything else in her life. Because one thing about women, when we're unhappy, it affects everything across the board. It affects us being mothers, it affects us being effective in the workplace, and it just affects us overall. Now, moving on to Cash Doll. Cash Doll recently was on somebody's podcast, or some interview where she's not wearing makeup or weave anymore because her boyfriend doesn't want her to. This is a definite red flag. Everyone knows, if you know who Cash Doll is, and most of us in the black community know who she is. She's a very beautiful woman. She's always been a fly dresser. Hair always on point, makeup always on point. Cash Doll has always been a fly chick. So we all know that. And this man wants to come along and wants to tell her, to wants to start changing her. And again, Cash Doll did the same thing that Cardi B did. She went into a relationship after she broke up with her baby daddy and recently had a baby. You're vulnerable at this time. You cannot, women, listen, women, you cannot make any major decisions in your life regarding relationships or anything that requires like real, like major decisions in your life, when you recently have a baby and when you're going through something emotional. You cannot think logically or rationally when you're in a vulnerable emotional state. You're not able to see things clearly. Both Cardi and Cash Doll have both gone through very emotional incidences in their lives that is causing them to make decisions that they're going to regret. And this is why we're seeing this now. Both women lost men, and both women recently had babies. So when you go through this, you have all this emotional stuff going on, and you cannot think logically because women are emotional. Men are different. Men can decompartmentalize better than women. I'm not saying men don't have emotions or they don't get emotional. What I'm saying is men can decompartmentalize better than women. And women are, it's very hard for a woman to decompartmentalize because we give life, we're nurturers, and we are emotional. Our hormones, everything that goes on with a woman's body. So both these women have, made decisions at the wrong times in their lives that's affecting them now. I hope Cash Doll will snap out of this soon and see that this is going somewhere she don't want it to go. I don't know this man that she's dating. I just know he's a football player, but I know this type of man. And any man that comes in your life and starts wanting you to change the very thing that he was attracted to, there's something going on there. He's about to chip away at her. And when I say chip away, he wants to bring her down. For whatever reason, he wants to bring her down. Either he wants to show his control over her or he outright just don't like her. There's men that don't like women and they wait for their opportunity to get with the woman that they see that's at a certain level and they want to bring them down to make them feel better. I don't know where he is in his football career. I don't know if he's a star athlete because I don't know the man, but there's something going on there. I don't know what it is because I really don't hasn't I haven't seen enough of who he is to make any sort of assessment, but I know there's something going on there because to even he's with her now. So for him to date her, he was already attracted to her looks, how she dresses. So now why do you want to take that all away? Why? There's something going on there that Cash Doll is not seeing. She's seeing it right now as love because she's looking for someone to fill that void. But it's not going to turn out the way that she thinks. And I believe I have a video down in my feed somewhere about Cardi being all set, and I talked about this before. But the case is true for both women. This is a very good example, ladies, on how you don't make any major decisions while you're going through a breakup or going through or someone close to you passes away. Anything that is causing you severe emotional turmoil, you cannot make any decisions for a while. You have to go through your emotions, go through what you need to go through. And then once you have a more clear head and you're able to see more clearly, then you can make those decisions. So, having said that, I'm going to, jump off of this video. I wish both of these women, the best. I hope these women don't go too far down. I really don't. I hope these men have not tore these women down because this affects their careers. And Cardi is at a certain level in her career, and Cash Doll is at a certain level in her career, and both women have been very successful in their individual careers. And I've seen it time and time again where a woman is doing very well for herself, and here comes a man, here he comes, and it all comes tumbling down. That's always the case. And I'm not saying that women don't play a role in it. So before somebody say, well, the women do play a role, because women should be more careful in what they do, because women have more to lose than men. Women have a lot more to lose than men, because women are the ones that, has to raise the children. We carry the emotional burden. So again, women have a lot more to lose. So women have to be more careful in the men that they choose and when they choose them. So let me close this out. I just wanted to give this as a lesson to women. Please pay attention. And if you're going through something, sit it out. Just sit it out. Go see a therapist. Talk to your best friend if you have a good best friend. Talk to your mamas. Talk to whoever. But you gotta sit it out. So I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll be back with another one. And y'all be safe out there.